Hey, Pastor Steve here, and I believe that I have a word from the Lord for you today, and that word is come. God's calling you to come and have a greater relationship with Him. He tells us that if we draw closer to Him, that He'll actually draw closer to us. That's James 4:8. He says, come close to God, and God will come close to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, purify your hearts, for your loyalty is divided between God and the world. And you're probably saying to yourself, wait, Steve, He's telling me to come closer, but He's telling me to wash my hands because I'm a sinner. Well, see, the reality is that He sent Jesus Christ so we wouldn't have to do all these things. And so if we're truly Christians, if we're truly on God's side, then what will happen is that we're already made clean, we're already made complete. And James is just simply going off of the same thing that he was working on in the first chapter. Check out this. He says their loyalty is divided between God and the world, and they are unstable in everything that they do. He's talking about these people that are going back and forth, that are vacillating in their decisions and the choices that they're making. And they don't know whether or not to go with the world, or if they don't know whether or not to go with God. And we see this going back and forth consistently. He even gives us as God as an example where we know that God does not change like shifting shadows. So we know that we have this promise for us, that if we act like God, then we can start actually being more and more like Him. But the bottom line is that James is telling us that we need to be out of the world and into God. And what happens is that we just can't have one foot immersed in the world and one foot immersed in God. It just doesn't work that way. We have to be completely and totally immersed in God. So everything that we do should be actually focused on God Himself. You're saying, Steve, I got to live a life here. The thing is that God wants you to live a good life. He wants you to live a great life. And the only way that you can really and truly do that is if you follow what He has in store for you. Look, Paul wrote a lot about this in Romans 12. Check this out. Don't copy the behaviors and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way that you think. Then you will learn to know God's perfect will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. So God has a desire for us, and He wants us to know what that is, but what we need to do is leave the world behind and then start actually transforming the way that we think, the way that we look at God, the way that we enable ourselves to be able to tap into what God has in store for us. I love the way the NLT translates this and tells us that, look, allow God to change the way that you think. That's the only way that we can truly and really have this happen. Throughout the Old Testament, we see God calling to us, and now that Jesus Christ has made this available to us, we can look back on verses like Isaiah 55:6, which say, seek the Lord while you can find Him, call on Him while He is near. Well, God is near, and He wants you to draw closer to Him. And He's made this possible through His Son, Jesus Christ. Even Jeremiah chapter 29, I know you're thinking about the 11th verse, but check out the 13th verse. If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. Now that's a promise that we can all hold on to and embrace. If I go out and I start looking for God, I'm going to find Him. If you start looking for God, you're going to find Him as well. So why not go out and put everything that you've got into finding what it is that the Lord wants you to do? And once you become immersed in Him, you've cleansed your hands, you've washed your hands, you've left all those things behind, and you're able to step into this place where as you draw closer to God, you're going to start sensing that He's drawing closer to you as well. Check it out. I know that you'll see this happening. Well, based on these things, this is the word that I believe that the Lord has given to me for you today. Come close to me. This is my greatest desire. I want you to know me as I truly am. My Son died so you could draw nearer to me. Come and get to know me better. It's a pretty good call. God's calling you to come and get to know Him better. And you know what? He's absolutely true and absolutely positive that He can change the way that you're looking at things if you simply allow Him. Well, you're more than welcome to share this post on Facebook. You can go to our YouTube channel and subscribe so you don't miss a single video. Or you can even go to our website at awfg.today, download some of the resources, check out the blog. Hey, we'd love to hear from you any way that it shakes out. But most of all, I want you to understand this one simple fact. You are definitely a miracle going someplace to happen.